I remember stopping and thinking, oh, Patty Duke just slapped my ass and I have to go. And
Hi, I'm Dave, and this is The Stage Page. Welcome to my second episode of War Stories, my first episode where I'll be talking to one of my friends. Her name is Aimee. She's a grad student in Montana. And hopefully you enjoy this. If you do, please share it somewhere, wherever. And if you do enjoy it, please consider subscribing. I drop new videos on Mondays and Fridays. So, without further ado, please enjoy War Stories with Aimee. So, I thought it'd be fun to start just to warm us up with a story that we're both a part of. Yeah, I don't know if you remember, we were doing To Kill a Mockingbird, and you were playing the lovely Bobbule's daughter, and
Nayela.
and we were at our first rehearsal where we weren't allowed to call a line and we weren't allowed to stop the show anymore. And so we're sitting in the courtroom, and we realized that the prosecuting lawyer hasn't showed up.
To the scene?
Yeah, do you remember this?
No.
Yeah, so we're just sitting as the lights come up. We've got the jury. I'm there with my boy, with David, and I think you were sitting over at the prosecution table with Chris, and no prosecuting lawyer. Yeah, so the scene, like the lights come up and like we can't really just start the scene without him. So we're just kind of standing there. And director's sitting in the back of the house, just like and so I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll go talk to the judge. So I just kind of saunter up to the judge and I'm like, what do we do? It turned out, for people not familiar with Eastern's stage layout, you got the stage, and then behind the stage was the shop, and above the shop was the studio. And there's a piano in the studio, and Kelvin was up in the studio playing piano when it came to his entrance.
Oh my God.
I talked to the judge for a second, and then I just went back to the prosecution table and started doing a strategy session with Tom, and just like, somebody go get him. Somebody please go get him. I don't know where he is, but somebody please get him.
And at this point, aren't there 30 people on stage?
Yeah, because we've also got
him.
Yeah, we've got the big balcony with everybody sitting up there. Literally everyone in the cast is on stage for this scene. Everyone.
Help brother out. That's what I'm saying.
So, and then the funny thing was we all come back in, and there's a point in the scene where the two of us go up to the judge, and we would always because it was kind of quiet while we were talking to each other, something else was happening on stage, and we would just kind of mess with each other. And that day he tries to mess with me, and I was like, Junior, sit your ass down. Don't even try with me today.
Oh God, there was this one show I was a part of. I was old enough to know better, but still kind of new to theater. And it was a role that was big enough that it was challenging for me. I think I was 16 or 14. Lord, I don't know. But it was the show was Little Princess Sarah, and I was Sarah. And let's start there. First mistake. So I think there were so many different things that went wrong in that show, and not on a major scale, because things go wrong all the time. Mm-hmm. And at that age, I'm more easily to get embarrassed. But I remember we had a blackout, and I have to change my clothes and get to a completely different place on the stage before the lights come up.
Sure. Yeah.
It was in the middle of a performance, and I don't know where my brain went because nothing has moved ever, and I've already performed the show. And then so I know the way to get off stage, but there's a blackout, and then I just remember at full speed, 14-year-old Aimee is like, gotta get off stage now. And I ate it. I hit this massive desk, and then it you could hear it to the back of the house. My foot hitting the desk, and then I slid across the desk like belly first, and then just kind of went on the other side. And you know, in blackouts, the actors can't see shit, but the audience can see everything. It was the worst. There was also in that show, like I lost track of where we were in the show, and so I just thought I was on the wrong side of the stage. And in order to get to the other side of the stage, you have to go down a flight of stairs, go under in this creepy old haunted basement, and then go up the flight of stairs. It was in the what used to be the Met and is now the Bing in Spokane.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. So very roundabout way to get to the other side of the stage. And I ended up in thinking somehow this was okay, but I just walked across the stage in the middle of someone's scene.
Were you like at least in the
I was
back?
like, doo-doo. Yeah, it was like by the backdrop, like if I just act like this is normal, everyone will think it's normal. It wasn't normal, and it didn't come off that way. In that same theater, though, I did a show of Pinocchio, and it was like a cast that was full of a lot of kids, and in you know, that theater is very much like haunted or could be haunted, and someone told this story to me that there's a ghost in every theater, whether that's true or not. Anyways, I thought that, you know, well, you know, I believed them, and I ended up going to the bathroom one day, and it's just in this cave that is so creepy and echoey. And anyways, I was going to the bathroom, and all of a sudden in the stall door next to me, someone like goes "Pow, pow, pow," and naturally I'm like, why is my stall shaking? Someone's pounding on my stall. And I looked under, and there were no feet, and instantly I was like, what is this ghost? And I broke down and I cried, and luckily it was in the middle of like a rehearsal. And but it like, I was so dramatic.
Honestly, I think I would have had the same reaction now.
Yeah.
So I don't even feel bad about that.
It was so scary. But the embarrassing part of it was how dramatic I was about it. In hindsight. However, I stand by the fact that there was a ghost in the bathroom, and it scared me. Dave, we were in this show together. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Yes.
Musical. And God, I love acting with you. I forget how much.
We have a lot of fun.
Yeah. Anything goes, I feel like. Anyway, so there's a scene. I was playing Boris, one of the spies that was like half German, half Russian accent. Who really knows? Yeah. And there's a scene where we rappel from the ceiling of the theater, which also in hindsight probably shouldn't have done. Like, it's like dreaming, and I think that it was a great idea, but in terms of safety, there were so many times when I was up there like double checking everything and then realizing something was wrong. And it was up to me to figure that out. We didn't have anyone certified with ropes checking anyone. Anyways,
I mean, I feel like when you're in that kind of position, you're like, okay, I could rappel from the ceiling in a really cool, badass way, or I could be a wet blanket and be like, regulations, guys.
Yeah. It was so unsafe, in my opinion. However, no regrets, and it was a brilliant idea. Okay, on that note.
Good cover.
Yeah. So here we are rappelling from the ceiling, and it was the last show, and I remember every single other show had gone so well, no mistakes, and suddenly I am tangled and stuck like halfway down the theater, while my scene partner, who is also rappelling to the stage, is like, "Yeah, Boris, you all right? Are you doing okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, go on, got it. And it was like, it was supposed to be like this James Bond smooth, like, shoo. And it ended up being like, shoo. It was, well, obviously you can't go back up, but it was like the worst.
I'm sure it felt like you were just going up and down.
Yeah, it was like time slowed down and I'm above the audience, like, what now am I gonna do if I'm up here for act 2? I don't know.
God.
That thought crossed my mind. I was like, what if we go to intermission? What if I'm up here the rest of this act because I can't get down?
Do you remember when Cody had to act an entire act of Bat Boy with broken handcuffs on his wrists?
No.
Yeah. So we were in Bat Boy together, for people that don't know that, and
Yeah.
Bat Boy is handcuffed, or at least he was for the first performance. But then when he goes off stage to get his handcuffs taken off, they got jammed and they got like super tight around his wrist.
Oh my
And
God.
they couldn't get him off, but he had to go back on. So Tico just cut the handcuffs in half. And so he did the entire first act wearing broken handcuffs on each wrist, including a left one that was like digging into his wrists.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was another good time. If we're gonna talk about that,
Yes, yeah.
I mean,
That
there
is-
was a great performance where during Comfort and Joy, he's got all those doctors that are like figments of his imagination, and they're all like walking toward the front of the stage. And so he steps up onto the couch and then steps down while he's singing. But of course, he's Martin, so he overdoes it, steps up on the edge of the couch, it falls immediately. He hits the ground and then starts like crawling forward while still singing his song.
in character.
Yeah.
So a couple summers ago, I did Oklahoma. I was Ado Annie. Did you end up seeing that one?
I think I was already out of town.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I dream role. However, I don't know how to like. I don't know how to say this without like being a little bit bitter. Anyway,
Uh-oh.
you can edit this shit. Anyway, so dream role. It was
Note to Dave,
Ado
put
Annie-
this at the front of the video.
Yeah, someone's idiot idea. Just kidding. No. Okay, so it's Oklahoma. Dream role, Ado Annie. Everyone, I mean, it's such a fun role. And it was someone's brilliant idea to have the stage have a turntable.
Mhm.
Which does, it makes things more interesting, of course.
Mhm.
But they also had the brilliant idea of in I Can't Say No.
Which
they
is
want-
also the best song in musical theater ever, is a girl singing about how she can't say no.
I agree. Oh, and I didn't say no. So on this turntable, there was like men coming in and out, like there was just men circling on the stage, and I was like, and
Wait, you're like what?
And so every once in a while, I would jump onto the turntable and have to like walk, and then I'd jump off the turntable and continue singing. This is all while I'm singing. So if that's not already a mind fuck, I don't know what. Excuse me.
I should
Anyway,
really be doing like time signatures to go and bleep through these.
Bleepity bleep bleep. Anyway, so I don't remember which part of the song it was in. Doesn't really matter. But so basically I just did one of these, like, I'm just a girl who can't say no. And then I stepped off the turntable and then almost ate it in front of the audience in a show, and did like one of the foot up, like, and then my next lyric was la di da 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 da. I know he's making clear, and then I just like started singing nonsense because I almost like busted my mouth in half. Like it wasn't that bad, but I tripped, and the lyrics went bye bye. I have the mother of all embarrassing stories.
All right, let me prepare myself.
Okay. So it was when I was a teenager, and I was really trying to get more and more into theater, and I auditioned for this show, and I don't know if we're allowed to say theater names or anything, but you can edit it if you want. It was
Sure.
at Spokane. It was at Spokane Civic Theater. I love them. And they were doing Gypsy, and it was like a long time ago. Anyway, the lead, Mama Rose, was played by Patty Duke, also known as Anna Pierce. And I was cast as her young daughter, baby Louise, not the stripper Louise. That was an older version. It was the younger version in Act
I
One.
actually played stripper Louise in that production.
That was you.
Yeah, yeah. I shaved. That's what I look like without the beard. I had to shave the beard for that one.
Yeah. And get the feathers and then just do the leg thing. Yeah. Okay. So this woman who's like, we're in rehearsal, thank God. And because I feel like it's infinitely more okay to fail in rehearsal. And this woman, Anna Pierce, you know, she's been on Broadway. She has an Emmy. She has Emmys and Academy Awards and Grammy Awards. She's the mother of Samwise Gamgee. Like,
right.
My teenager self was scared, to say the least. And I remember she was trying to be more motherly towards me, and she's a lovely, lovely human, or was a lovely, lovely human. And so we were trying to figure out how, like, the mother-daughter relationship there. And we were doing one of the very first scenes in the play when they had just come from an audition, and then they were, you know, saying goodnight to their grandpa and Mama Rose, and then going off to bed. And she, in the middle of the scene, just slaps my ass. And I remember stopping and thinking, oh, Patty Duke just slapped my ass, and I have to go. And I not only exited incorrectly, I just walked across the entire stage when the exit door is literally right behind me. And the scene wasn't over. It wasn't even half over. I still had lines. I just left. She slapped my ass, and I was like, bye. I was like, a Grammy winner slapped my ass.
Were you like horrified or just caught off guard?
I was both. I think I was very caught off guard, and also like, but why did she do that? And in hindsight, obviously, I'm like, because she's my mom, and you know how moms will be like, oh, you're off to bed, your butt's so cute. I don't know. I don't know, when you're younger. The only thing was I was like 16, so but I looked 8. So she probably thought I was 8. Anyway, it just, and the director was like, so we're gonna run that scene again, and Aimee, I just want to remind you that you skipped some lines, and you also went that way, and you're just supposed to go through that door right there. It was just, oh boy, I felt so stupid. I have more, but they're all kind of similar. They're all like, I forgot a prop, and so I left my scene partner on stage while I went to go find it. Probably not the best solution.
You like just leave them hanging completely, or did you give them some?
Yeah, I was like, oh, hold on, and then ran and got the newspaper and was like, as I was saying, I was reading the newspaper, and
So you actually did the opposite to Chris Hansen. We were in Baskerville, and he was playing Watson, and I was in this scene playing one of 12 roles that I played in that show. And I had this huge, comically huge net that's supposed to be like a butterfly net, but it was big enough. Like it was the net we used in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang to catch the kids. And so I'm there, and I completely blanked on my line, like 100% gone. And so I decided to start improvising. And so Chris is just standing there looking at me, and I just look at him back, and then I just look at my huge net, and I go, yeah, I know it's a bit big, but I figure why not spoil myself, right? And then I just left and like started chasing an imaginary butterfly. And so I just run off stage, like pretending to be catching a butterfly, and I just hear Chris go, were you not going to tell me about the Moors? I was off stage already, and I was like, oh, that was my line, wasn't it?
What I was supposed to do.
They just moved on. All right. Well, thank you, Aimee, for being my first guest on War Stories Gear.
Thank you for inviting me. Yeah. Let's work together again, please.